So speaking of skyrocketing insurance, shall we? We'll get to Luigi Mangione and the current developments in the case, and also the social. Well, I wouldn't go that far. He didn't follow any of us, thank God.
Yeah,
I was a little worried about that.
You were like,
oh, and then I was like, okay,
dodge that one.
Well, I don't need New York Times up my ass asking me about why this guy was a fan or anything like that. Even though we did swim in very similar circles. So we've got two comedians weighing in, Joe Rogan and Bill Burr, with some cutting analysis of the insurance
Warren agreeing
industry.
with them.
Yes, we'll get to that next. Let's take a listen to the comedians.
I think this guy, if I had to guess, some guy who got fucked over. Apparently that company is really bad on denying claims.
34% denial rate, something
normal's
like that.
like 16.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those guys.
I don't think anybody's going to be crying too hard over that guy.
Yeah, maybe his family, but that's about it.
Yeah.
It's a dirty, dirty business. The business of insurance is fucking gross. It's gross. And especially healthcare insurance, just fucking gross.
Well, you know what's annoying me about this kid who killed this CEO is none of these news programs are talking about the incredible lack of empathy from the general public about this because of how these insurance companies treat people when they are at their most vulnerable, after we've all given them our money every fucking month, and now we finally need you, and all you do is deny us. And then these pussies and all of these things are taking the pictures of their CEOs off their websites. You know, I got to be honest with you, okay? I love that fucking CEOs are fucking afraid right now. You should be. By and large, you're all a bunch of selfish, greedy fucking pieces of shit, and a lot of you are mass murderers. You just don't pull the trigger. That's why it looks clean. That's why these people look, oh my God, he was just, walking into a hotel. It's like, okay, but what was his job? What did he do? What was the results of it?
Woo, Bill, my God.
The beeps couldn't even keep up with it.
Yeah, that was interesting. Look, it's funny. I knew that the comedians were going to have a field day with this one, but with Bill, I don't even think he's joking. He's just ranting completely. You already know that there's going to be some great sets that come out of this entire thing. But he certainly is trying to capture, I would guess, the underground internet mood of the country. And before we get to Elizabeth Warren, we just have to put some of this stuff up there because you can see that there is a groundswell out there. I'm not endorsing it, but it is certainly out there. Let's go ahead and put, C3 up there on the screen. We play some VO of this. People are posting wanted pictures, apparently, all over the city of New York, showing the photos of CEOs of various different healthcare companies. You also have, let's go to the next one up there on the screen. You have the book, the Delay, Deny, Defend book, which was cited on the shell casings by Luigi Mangione, that has surged to number 3 on the Amazon bestseller list. Next, C5, please. The jacket apparently worn by Mangione is, quote, flying off the shelves. This is, let's see, a similar green truck. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, this is just a basic green trucker jacket. I don't really know what's so special about it. The Sherpa line hooded jacket from Levi's rings in at $225, just, quote, flying off the shelves after people speculated it was the same coat that was worn there. I mean, I guess, I'll put in a plug for trucker jackets, specifically Levi's trucker jackets. They can be very stylish. They are very nice. But yeah, you could see there is a lot of hidden energy behind this, so much so that apparently people have been offering to the lawyer of Luigi Mangione to pay his legal bills, something that the lawyer addressed in an interview. Let's take a listen.
But you said you were retained today. One big question that everyone has is, are you being paid by his family to represent him?
Yeah, I'm not going to comment on that.
Well, can you say that it's not his family who is asking you to retain him, or to retaining you to represent him?
I'm not going to comment on. I'm not going to comment on that. That's I've been retained. I'm not court appointed. I've been retained, and that's all I can tell you.
We had seen reports earlier that there was, people were inundating you with offers to help pay for his legal bills. Is that accurate?
I have received some emails. I have not seen them personally, but my understanding from my staff is people are doing that.
That people are reaching out to you and offering to help pay for his legal bills.
That's correct.
Would you accept those offers? I mean, I imagine you maybe have, I don't know, have you ever gotten that before?
Nah, to be honest with you, I probably wouldn't.
Why do you think you would not accept that?
I don't know. I just I don't know. I just don't feel comfortable about that. So I don't know. I haven't given that much thought, but I'm not looking, obviously my client appreciates the support that he has, but I don't know. I just, I'd have to look in, but it just doesn't sit right with me, really.
I love how nonplussed this guy is throughout the entire interview. Refuses to look at the camera, giving extremely
does he know he's on air?
Short answers. Yeah, exactly. It's like all the worst things you could possibly ask for in a television guest. He's doing of not giving anything clear. So what do you think? You think the family's paying him? I think so. Yeah, you got.
I would think so.
I mean, they're super wealthy, right?
Right, but let the public pay if they want to pay.
Maybe, but then that's the other question: is that did somebody reach out and preemptively, retain counsel?
I would
for
assume
him?
it's the family. I mean, he went to Gilman, which is like one of the most expensive schools in the Maryland area.
There's no question.
His family's got money.
Yeah, you could. No. I mean, that's already been coming out.
Yeah.
Is that his own family has been very wealthy? They own a bunch of golf courses, apparently, or whatever.
Yeah,
and then. What does they own golf courses? They
his brother's a GOP state rep.
His cousin is a GOP state legislator. So clearly they're influential. Apparently very well known in the Baltimore area, the Mangione family. So yeah, Ryan, what do you think of all this?
Well, the first politician to really kind of channel some of this, and she's getting a lot of backlash, is Elizabeth Warren.
Okay.
I think this is a really interesting interview. And when you watch this interview, bear in mind the cliche in politics that they say everything that comes before the but doesn't actually matter. It's what comes after the but, and that's why people are like, "Whoa, interesting." So let's roll old based Elizabeth Warren here.
What happens when you turn this into the billionaires run it all is they get the opportunity to squeeze every last penny.
Yeah.
And look, we'll say it over and over. Violence is never the answer. This guy gets a trial who's allegedly killed the CEO of United Health. But you can only push people so far. And then they start to take matters into their own hands.
Yeah.
I mean, she's
vigilante justice.
Her whole career, she's been going after CEOs more than probably any other Democratic politician.
She did walk it back, though. Did you?
Has she already walked it back?
Of course, she's already walked it back.
Well, you knew that was coming.
Bad, etc. Yeah, I mean, look, they're all trying to thread the needle, which I kind of find amusing, especially, well, for them in particular. It's like, oh, how do we do this? It's like, we don't want to endorse violence. And
she pushed the needle the furthest, though.
Do you think so?
Yeah, where you say, look, I don't support murder, but you can only push people so
you can
far.
Only push people
like that's
so far.
That's about as far as a politician is going to take it.
That's fair. I think that is certainly fair.
And was certainly expected that politician would then be forced to walk that back.
We also have a hilarious clip
so good
that has come out of Luigi Mangione's fellow prisoners who were able to shout at a cameraman for News Nation. Now, as you and I were discussing, why are they playing News Nation in prison?
Cruel and unusual
of all the networks that's out there, News Nation that's been playing in prison.
The context here is that Jesse Waters, apparently the most out of touch man in the entire United States, said that United Health CEO Brian Thompson's allies behind bars would give Luigi a very rough time.
Yes,
and
I'm sure
he was going to be really in for it because obviously. Inmates love nothing more than health insurance CEOs.
Of course.
And so his theory was actually put to the test as he's in a Pennsylvania prison here.
So here, Pennsylvania prisoners who are shouting back and forth with the News Nation camera crew about the conditions and other things inside the prison. Let's take a listen.
Luigi's conditions suck! Free Luigi!
This was just from a few hours ago, and here they are, 10 o'clock as promised. They said earlier today, tell Ashley Banfield that Luigi is watching at 10 o'clock. I mean, obviously, that's just a hard roast at this point because they're not near Luigi in any way.
Can I just ask the guys, if they can hear me right now, to answer yes or no very loud. Does Luigi have television in his single cell?
No.
Unreal. They said no, right? Obviously, we have a little bit of a delay, but they're getting. They're getting the questions, and they're giving us the answers. So Luigi does not have. Wow, this is quite something. This is the strangest interview I've ever conducted.
Me too, Ashley. According to the Department of Corrections, he's got his own solitary cell. It's not solitary confinement, but he's by himself. It's not dorm style. I'm not sure exactly what those guys got going on in terms of a living situation. It sounds like they're all clustered together. Isn't it interesting to see what accommodations that they have? They got their own light switches. They're obviously watching TV
They're all doing
past any sort of 10 o'clock curfew, Yep, they're doing this for you. They're watching News Nation at this very moment.
That is pretty extraordinary. Also, what kind of facility is this? Guys can just yell out, it's like camera.
Well, I mean, this is.
Is this a jail?
Yeah, yeah.
Actually?
So
okay,
yeah,
right, yeah,
and so this is most American prisons. So basically, those dudes are in a common room. Mm-hmm. The windows are open, probably. Mm-hmm. In fact, maybe they have the windows open and the heat on, just to make it miserable from both directions. But so it seems like all those guys are in the common room. It's not yet time to go back to the cell and go to sleep. So they all sit around there and they're watching television.
Watching the news.
Yeah.
Oh.
And they had as you saw there, they had yelled out the window to the crew, "Tell Ashley we're going to be watching at 10 p.m." And sure enough, they were there for their appointment at 10 p.m. and communicating back and forth. You love to see it.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
So I think that Waters' theory that Luigi's going to be persona non grata in American prisons is not panning out so far.
So I was speculating because so first of all, this is jail.
Maybe he thought he was going to Maybe Waters thought he was going to Danbury. Danbury.
That's in Connecticut, though.
Yeah, that's the Connecticute one where all the rich people go.
Oh, right.
There, Luigi might have a problem.
That's right. He certainly. Maybe he would have more of a problem in the federal system, which is probably more filled with criminals, white-collar criminals, and others. But if convicted, he would be in the New York State penitentiary system. We were speculating as to whether he'd be sent to that Dannemora prison from the show Escape at Dannemora, with other violent criminals in the New York State system, all the way up, I think, in upstate New York. But we'll see. We'll see what happens to him. It's going to be, as we said, it's going to be the trial of the century. I think we can at least.
Guy's never going to have to buy a cigarette.
You think so? You think so? All right. Yeah, maybe you're right. Maybe, but are people going to remember in 20 years? How long is he going to get if he gets convicted?
Well, I mean, also he's going to be he's got back pain and to be in prison.
Yeah, that's rough. And he also, I mean, look, we still don't know what he's going to plead. He still could plead not guilty by reason of insanity, especially
or
if he
not guilty by reason
issue.
of. Why don't you guys just find me not guilty?
It could happen. I don't know. I mean, I don't think so just because of the way the jury... I mean, people have tried that before, right? In terms of I was justified in the crime. Usually the jury instructions are very narrow, so they're able to get around these
Yeah, these are revolutionary times.
They know how to go... Yeah. The feds and the cops, they know how to rig the system to make sure that stuff like that is not going to fly. But hey, look, maybe you're right, Speaking of that, in terms of some of the questions surrounding Luigi Mangione, the manifesto, and the media's relationship. We've got Ken Klippenstein standing by. He's going to talk to us about his decision to publish the manifesto and why other media organizations have decided not to. Let's get to it. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show, ad-free, and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.